Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out my channel, and today I'm going to be working on an old Bolens tractor with a Vanguard engine. And I want to point out a starter that you can use if you have the situation like I do where the starter is shot. Let's first look at the tractor real quick. You can see here, really good shape. This tractor was a one owner tractor, bought new from the dealership, and they had one of these big goofy radios installed on there, which it still works. That's kind of cool. I remember that from our old 8N tractor, used to have one of those on there. But this is a really good old tractor. It's hard to find these anymore. And this guy has the grass catcher and the blower and the plow and everything. So I'm fixing this for him so he can sell it. It's time for him to move on. He doesn't have property to mow with anymore. And I found that it wasn't starting, and he kept on referring to the battery as being the problem, but the battery seemed to be okay. It just, the starter was jamming up. The teeth on the starter are wore. They're missing quite a bit of them, and I couldn't figure out quite why that was happening until I got the starter off, and you can see it's pretty jacked up. It's the original starter, and it's just time. Although it was still trying to spin, it just wasn't doing its job anymore. So whenever I started looking for the starter for this, I found that the original part number, there was some confusion as far as what you use. But this has an aluminum flywheel, and anything that has an aluminum flywheel or a steel flywheel, pretty much it's the same starter that runs all of them now. So let me show you what I got. Of course, I got it from Amazon, so let's go ahead and open this thing up and compare it to the old one. Well, Briggs and Stratton box. That's good, because I did order a Briggs and Stratton starter. There's no sense in something as nice as this tractor to try to put something else cheap on it that may or may not work. Just get the original. I'll put the link down below for this so you can click the link and pick this up. Let me go ahead and open it up. Looks like it's already been beat up a little bit. Well, it comes with some instructions and a bracket that I don't believe that I'm using, and of course some washers and nuts. And I do notice right off the bat that this thing appears to be a little bit shorter. If you look here, I'll try to line it up as far as its mounting. And it is shorter. It's not much shorter, but it is shorter. The most important thing is that those line up whenever this is flush against the block, that the gear will engage the flywheel correctly, and that looks all correct, so we're good there. Whenever I was taking off the old one, it was really tough to get hold of the bolt that holds it on here, and it's because they didn't upgrade the bolts to have the Torx fitting that's inside the head of the bolt. So you actually have to use a socket. The problem is that the socket doesn't want to clear the starter gear here. So what I'll do is install the new one, and we'll try it out and see how it works. A quick update. I cheated a little bit, and I don't want to keep you guys out of the loop. These are the bolts that originally held in the starter, and although they're still okay, they were a handful to get to. And I'll show you what I did. Those are from an old Intech engine that I had laying around here that I scrapped out some time ago. So I replaced the starter bolts with the ones that held the Intech starter in. And you can see why it's so much easier to get that Torx fitting and tighten the bolts that way versus trying to get a socket over top of that head and clear everything. You can see it fits in there just like it's supposed to. I went ahead and fired it up, and everything lines up and does exactly what it needs to do to get this old Vanguard running. So I hope that helped you out with your choices as far as starters go. You got to realize that a lot of these starters over the years, they were able to consolidate them and make them basically one number that replaces a whole slew of Briggs and Stratton numbers. So again, I'm going to put the link down below for this starter, and check your application, but 90% of the time it's going to cover it. As long as you have either a plastic or an aluminum flywheel on your engine, you're not going to have a problem with this starter most likely. I appreciate you watching. Thanks. Bye.